Honourable members, prayers. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in their sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic. Endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, and their good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service and honor shall be given to the deserving, a country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the effort of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honourable members, correction of votes and proceedings, and official reports. Item numbered 6 on today's order paper. We have vote and proceedings of 19th June 2026 for consideration, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7. Yes.
Speaker, thank you so much. Speaker, I was up on my feet at page 5. Please permit me to draw your kind attention to item 5, number 13. Indeed, on Friday, I wasn't around, but I did the needful by seeking permission. And so I will respectfully request that I be marked under members who were absent with permission rather than being absent without permission. Thank you.
Well, you must approach the table office to ensure that your leave of absence has been approved and transmitted. Have you completed the leave of absence form?
Speaker, I did. Respectfully, if you recall, on Thursday, I even approached you and you directed me to the second deputy speaker.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So we'll go back to page 7, page 8, page 9, page 10.
Speaker, please, I want to take you back to page 6. I have been marked absent. Friday, I was here. I even received visitors on your behalf when you were out to do other assignments. So I have been marked absent. Table office should do the corrections.
Very well. Table office, take note. Page 10, page 11, page 12, page 13, page 14, page 15, page 16, page 17, page 18, and page 19. Honorable members, the votes and proceedings of Friday, 19th June 2026, as corrected, is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Honorable members, we have official report of 11th June 2026 for correction. Honorable members, any correction? Honorable members, any correction of the official reports of 11th June 2026? In the absence of any correction, the official report of 11 June 2026 is hereby adopted as the true record of proceedings. Honorable members, I have an announcement on the International Data Masterclass for members of Parliament. I wish to draw your attention to the International Data Masterclass for members of Parliament, a capacity building program being organized by the Parliament of Ghana in collaboration with the Ghana Statistical Service and the United Kingdom Office for National Statistics. The program is aimed at strengthening the use of data and evidence in legislative oversight and policy decision-making, and forms part of Parliament's efforts to promote evidence-based lawmaking and inform parliamentary deliberations. The training is open to all honorable members and will be conducted in cohorts. The first two cohorts are scheduled as follows: Tuesday, 23rd June to Wednesday, 24th June 2026. First cohort. Thursday, 25th June to Friday, 26th June 2026. Second cohort. Time is 9 a.m. to 12 noon each day. Venue, Parliamentary Training Institute, Parliament House. Honorable members, invitations have already been sent to members assigned to the first two cohorts. Honorable members are encouraged to participate fully in this important program, which will provide practical skills and insights on the effective and efficient use of data and statistics in parliamentary work. I urge all invited members to make every effort to attend and actively engage in the section. Yes.
Speaker, may I seek your leave to vary the order of business, so that instead of questions, Speaker, will take item number 8. We'll take two statements, one standing in the name of the Honorable Comfort Doyle, and then the other in the name of the Honorable Dr. Clement Apak on behalf of the Disability Caucus in Parliament. Mr. Speaker, my understanding is that there's another statement standing in the name of the Honorable No, we have two here. No problem. So let's have the indication. No, it's okay.
Honourable members, by page 5 of today's order paper, we have 3 statements. One standing in the name of Comfort Doyo Kujo. Another one, Dr. Clement Abbas Apak. And another one, Dr. Fred Che Asamoah. These are the statements listed for today. Yes?
Speaker, just to corroborate and support what my friend, the Chief Whip, his application, there should be no objection. However, because of today's program, and we have questions listed, is it the understanding that we will shift today's question to tomorrow so that we can have certainty with that, and then we can proceed and take the statement?
Yes.
Speaker, indeed, yes. Unfortunately, the Deputy Minister for Energy and Green Transition is traveled. The substantive is available, but they are engaged in some high-level interministerial meeting. So he's unable to appear. So he wrote a letter. But we are hoping that if we can get him tomorrow, that will defer his coming today to tomorrow, in addition to what will be taken tomorrow. So my brother shouldn't worry. Once we get his confirmation to be here tomorrow, we'll take him tomorrow. Please. If the deputy were around, he would have come to respond to them, because the answers have been written. But he's not. So that's the difficulty we have, Mr. Speaker.
Speaker, if I may, I thought maybe leader had engaged the minister, because I saw him in the chamber and he had confirmed he was coming to answer the question. But your application, I'm sure, is on the grounds that the engagement we had, other businesses that your caucus has to engage in, then of course, the fact that we want to dispense of the 3 statements. So let's just agree for the records that we will take his questions tomorrow. Then we can proceed, leader. Yeah. Yeah, once the Chief Whip has agreed, we should be fine.
Speaker, my engagement with the minister early this morning was that he will come if he's able to deal with those interministerial meetings early enough. Now we are approaching 1 p.m. So I pray that we deal with the statements. If he comes and his availability will be okay for tomorrow, we'll take him for tomorrow. I plead with you. Great.
Then we'll proceed to give the floor to Honorable Clement Abbas Apak. To make a statement on commemoration of the National Day of Persons with Disability. Please, you have the floor.
Most grateful, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to mark the National Day of Persons with Disabilities, commemorated on the 23rd of June, 2026, and to express my solidarity with millions of Ghanaians living with disabilities, as well as their families, advocates, organizations, and development partners who continue to champion their rights, dignity, and inclusion. Mr. Speaker, the occasion that we mark today is not merely a day of commemoration. It is a national call to reflection, accountability, and action. It reminds us of our collective responsibility to build a Ghana in which every citizen, irrespective of physical, sensory, intellectual, or psychosocial disability, can participate fully and equally in all aspects of national life. Mr. Speaker, this year's theme, quote, from act to action, finalizing reforms and enforcing disability rights now, unquote, could not be timelier. It challenges us to move beyond policy declarations and legislative intentions and focus instead on tangible outcomes that improve the lives of persons with disability. It is a reminder that rights are not meaningful only when they are protected, implemented, and experienced in everyday life. According to the 2021 Population and Housing Census, over 2 million Ghanaians live with one form of disability or another. Beyond these statistics are individuals with aspirations, talents, skills, and immense potential. They are students striving for quality education, entrepreneurs seeking opportunities, workers contributing to our national economy, and citizens determined to participate fully in society. Their inclusion is not only a matter of social justice, Mr. Speaker, it is an essential developmental priority that must be harnessed to ensure collective prosperity. Mr. Speaker, Ghana has taken important steps in advancing disability rights. The enactment of the Persons with Disabilities Act 2006, Act 715, and the ratification of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities demonstrate our commitment to creating a more inclusive society. Yet, we must honestly acknowledge that significant challenges still remain. Many persons with disabilities continue to face barriers in accessing education, healthcare, employment, transportation, public infrastructure, information, and social protection services. Accessibility remains inadequate in many public spaces. Opportunities for economic participation are often limited. In too many instances, persons with disabilities continue to encounter discrimination and exclusion that undermines their dignity and restricts their ability to contribute fully to our national development. These realities underscore the urgent need to strengthen implementation, enhance accountability, and accelerate reform. Mr. Speaker, it is therefore encouraging that efforts are underway to review and strengthen Ghana's disability legislation. As lawmakers and representatives of the people, we have a responsibility to support reform that aligns with our legal framework, with international standards, and ensure stronger protection of the rights of persons with disabilities. However, legislation alone would not be enough. We must ensure that laws are effectively enforced, institutions are adequately resourced, and public places are translated into measurable acts of charity and benevolence. It is fundamentally a matter of human rights, equity, and justice. Mr. Speaker, through the Parliamentary Caucus on Disability, Parliament continues to deepen its engagement with disability-related issues and advocates for greater inclusion across sectors of national life. As part of these efforts, the caucus participated in the 19th session of the Conference of State Parties to the Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities at the United Nations headquarters in New York and engaged in the Commonwealth Parliamentarians with Disability Forum in South Africa. These engagements provided valuable opportunities to enhance and enable us exchange experiences, learn from international best practices, and share Ghana's progress in protecting accessibility, empowerment, social protection, and inclusive development. On behalf of the caucus, I wish to express our profound appreciation to you, Mr. Speaker, for your unwavering support and commitment to advancing the welfare and inclusion of persons with disability within Parliament and across the nation. Mr. Speaker, as we commemorate this important day, I call upon all colleague ministers, ministries, departments, and agencies, metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies, the private sector, civil society organizations, development partners, and the public to renew our commitment to removing barriers that hinder the full participation of persons with disabilities. We must work together to create accessible schools, workplaces, healthcare facilities, transportation systems, and public spaces. We must promote inclusive employment and economic opportunities. We must strengthen social protection systems and ensure that disability considerations are integrated into and involve persons with disabilities in decision-making that affect their lives. True inclusion can only be achieved when their voices are heard, respected, and reflected in policy and practice. Mr. Speaker, on this National Day of Persons with Disability, I reaffirm Parliament's commitment to building a Ghana where every citizen can live with dignity, exercise their rights, and realize their full potential regardless of disability. Let this occasion serve as a renewed pledge to move decisively from promises to progress, from legislation to implementation, and from recognition to full realization of disability rights. Together, let us build a nation where inclusion is not an aspiration, but a reality, where accessibility is not an exception, but a standard, where no Ghanaian is left behind because of inability. Mr. Speaker, I thank you profusely for giving me the opportunity to make a statement on this very special and important day. Thank you.
Our revered visitors, here we say, hey, hey. We don't clap. Yes, leaders, how many comments are we taking?
Mr. Speaker, if you agree that we'll do 2-2 plus leadership, making 3.
Very well. Yes.
Speaker, that we would have loved to do more, but we are okay. Speaker, I think we can proceed. We should proceed.
Yes, Honorable Hajia Ladi Ayamba, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to comment on the statement ably made by the Honorable Deputy Minister for Education. Mr. Speaker, the issue of disabilities is a very big problem that actually needs to be delved into more. We are doing our best, and I know very well that even the current president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has made sure that persons with disability in education are being supported to go further. In the district assemblies, we have a quota from the district assemblies to support them. But we need to do more, because if you observe the situation, many of them are neither in education or even have skills. Mr. Speaker, we need to encourage persons with disabilities who can, because some of them cannot, to acquire skills and then be supported to be able to work for themselves. It will go a long way to help. There are some of them, when you watch, they are able to work for themselves. On this, our route, the Osu route here, I have seen one young man, Mr. Speaker, who is always in a wheelchair and selling earbuds, nail cutters, and what have you. But looking at him, you could see that if he is given that support, he might not only carry the little basket that he has, he might even have a shop and be able to run it and wouldn't be on the street, which is more dangerous for him. Mr. Speaker, our schools, our social places, you would observe that persons with disabilities, especially those who cannot walk, when they get there, sometimes when there is no lift or the lift is spoiled, and when there is no runway where they can push them, they find it difficult to go to the offices that they want to get to. So, Mr. Speaker, I wish that we continue to encourage our contractors that in constructing any place, they should be able to put these ramps where our persons with disability would be able to use. Mr. Speaker, there is one issue that has been beating my mind, but I just looked at it. The issue of persons with mental illness. Are they persons with disability? Yes, they are. But how far do we cater for them? How far do we cater for them? Most unfortunately, the use of drugs today is pushing most of the youth into mental illness. We need to ensure that the education continues to go on to discourage them from these drugs. But those that have already messed themselves up, Mr. Speaker, let us give them that support because they have a disability. Most of them cannot work. They cannot do anything for themselves. In places like America, they have their laws, which is the Disabilities Act, where they consider them as persons with disabilities because they cannot work. It prevents them from working and from undertaking a lot of social activities. So they are considered under disability. Are we considering that? And this should be hammered to the districts. If you have persons who are mentally challenged in your place, Mr. Speaker, you need to consider that person under the disability persons and give them that support. You may be giving it to their parents or relatives or even supporting them to get medication, and it will go a long way to help us. Mr. Speaker, I thank the maker of the statement once more and thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm very grateful.
Thank you. Yes, Honorable Che Asamoah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I would like to also commend the maker of the statement, Honorable Apak, on the commemoration of the National Day of Persons with Disability. Mr. Speaker, almost every constituency of ours have people with disability, and disability is not inability. As long as one has life, everyone can do something. And I like the statement when he stated, and I quote, "We must work together to create accessible schools, workplaces, healthcare facilities, transportation system, and public spaces." Mr. Speaker, I know we are working to upgrade buildings that are 3-story building and up to be able to accommodate. But most importantly, sometimes because it's not part of our training at the early childhood, we tend not to include people that may have challenges. So, Mr. Speaker, whilst we are trying to make schools accessible, we should find ways and means to make it more accessible at the early stage of life. If we include every child from age 1 all the way up, Mr. Speaker, it will allow us to create the culture of appreciating everybody's strength and their weakness, and it becomes part of our daily life. But because we are not used to, sometimes at the workplace, when somebody have issue with vision, we tend not to appreciate the fact that if that person is weak with vision, they might be strong with some other things. So, Mr. Speaker, I would then encourage the Ministry of Education that we should put more emphasis on inclusion as far as disability is concerned at the early age. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to skill training, which may, with your approval, we will have a statement on, we tend not to focus on people with disability. And we only take care of those that can see and can hear and read. So, Speaker, I will encourage that we put more resources, as other advanced countries have been able to do, to make sure we invest more into skill training of our people with disabilities so they can contribute their quota to national development. With this, Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes, Honorable Deputy Minister.
For the opportunity to contribute to the statement ably made by Honorable Clement Apak, who is also the chairperson for the Disability Caucus of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, today we commemorate the Persons with Disability Day under the theme, From Act to Action, Finalizing Reforms and Enforcing Disability Rights. Mr. Speaker, the statement made mention of accessible schools, workplaces, healthcare, and public spaces. This is one thing that is so dear to my heart because most of the time our persons with disability are not able to access government institutions or wherever they want to go to. Mr. Speaker, in our educational facilities, we should ensure that we are able to create access for these persons with disability to ensure that they will be able to access these places and also the public places. Mr. Speaker, with my experience at the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, supported by my able Honorable Minister, Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim, going into that ministry, we didn't have access for persons with disability. But as we speak, we have started constructing a lift for them so that it will enable them to come to us whenever they want to do so. Mr. Speaker, we are calling on all government agencies and institutions to remove barriers that hinder the full participation of persons with disability in these areas. Mr. Speaker, I would want to say that most of the time, we say the persons with disability are not recruited or are not employed. We have 261 districts in this country. If every assembly can employ 2 persons with disability, I believe we are going to get somewhere. And the ministries, departments, and agencies should also do same. At least 1 or 2 persons with disability will reduce the numbers of unemployment. We talk about skills training for them. Most of the time, they learn these skills. And I have testimonies within my constituency that they could open. There's a woman who has been able to, she does powder, she does various things. But when it's time to market these things, there's discrimination, there's stigmatization. And so people do not want to buy from her. These are issues that we need to talk about to ensure that even if they are self-employed, we will patronize whatever they are selling. Mr. Speaker, I would not leave out their District Assembly's Common Fund. His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, the visionary president of Ghana, has made sure that he has increased their Common Fund from 3% to 5%. He has also ensured that they have free tertiary education. So our persons with disability, wherever they are, they should ensure that they access these programs that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has put in place. Mr. Speaker, I would also want to call on the district assemblies to ensure that these funds that come for the persons with disability, they will disburse them on time and ensure that they give them what they deserve. Mr. Speaker, on this day, as they celebrate or we commemorate with them, we want to assure them that we as members of parliament in their various districts and communities, we are with them and we wish you well. Our doors are always open and you can come so that we discuss and make sure that you also feel comfortable because nobody is disabled through his or her fault. So on this day, we want to say, I echo to all persons with disability. And Mr. Speaker, before I take my seat, it will interest you to know most of them are educated and they know what they are about, they know what they are doing. And so let's support them. Let the stigmatization stop, let the discrimination stop to ensure that these people find a space in our communities and in our government. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Yes, Honorable Anna Domprey.
Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity to make some contribution to the very important statement presented by my good friend, the Honorable Dr. Park. Speaker, I think our compatriots are not asking for sympathy. They are not saying that they should be sympathized with necessarily. They are asking that by law, they are given the necessary support as is given to every citizen of this country. It shouldn't be the case that the impression is out there that they are asking for sympathy. That is not the case. The conversation and the narrative for the past decade has been sustained. And then it dovetailed into the passage of Act 715, the 2006. That bill was passed into an act. So it is not the case that it's been nothing. Some meaningful and significant interventions have been staged in this context. However, our compatriots have communicated with clarity that what is being given to them, it's like a poultry support. Like a poultry support. And the call for that act to be reviewed is anchored on 3 legs. One, that in terms of employment quota, you're not calling more than a 5% employment quota to be given to our colleagues and our compatriots with this challenge. They are also calling for some partial and absolute tax exemption. In this House, we passed a number of tax exemptions to corporate bodies who, a few of them have raised issues. They are asking for a tax exemption. They are also saying that there should be, the Honorable, my colleague was saying that we should appeal, we are appealing. We should go beyond the appeal. There should be penal enforcement mechanism so that companies and corporate bodies or even individuals who by law are mandated to execute certain deliverables don't do it. It cannot be the usual former Nyame expression. No, you come under enforcement, a law which has been passed. So that is the call. In a summary, they are saying that we should review the existing act and incorporate these 3 legs onto a new act that's supposed to be passed. They are also saying that the Act 715 has no ally. We passed Act 715 in 2006. It's a shame unto us as a country that from that time to now, we've just been talking about ally. And so we don't, the Act has not been given the necessary teeth to bite. That for me is a trust of the matter. And as Speaker, I see my compatriots are here. I'm sure they've been encouraged to be here. You see, and that has always been a problem of our country. Commemorative events, we come, we showcase, we play to the gallery. I would have loved that all persons with disability across the district, all of them will have an expression across the district, other than bringing them to parliament and then the problems still persist in the various districts. I think that is what we should be doing. And my colleagues, we are also rarely informed that the new amendment that is being called has been duly submitted to cabinet. It's at cabinet. So you have the mandate. We are here, we will support you. I hope the cabinet will do the needful. A while ago, you were praising His Excellency the President. That's fine, we have no objection. But the President can do more. That document is before cabinet. I want to support you and to further call on the President that cabinet should work on this ASAP, and then the revised bill or a new bill will be brought to Parliament. Then we can.
Yeah. So you have 1 minute to conclude.
Because that's why you will live long. So we shouldn't play to the gallery. We are happy to see our compatriots, but let's do the needful by making sure that we incorporate these 3-leg suggestions into a new act that would deal with the challenge. But on this note, I want to commend my good friend, the Honorable Dr. Apak. I see Honorable Ahmed is also here. Unfortunately, the Minister for Children, Gender, I think this matter has come under her purview. I'm sure if she should have been here, it would have helped. Anyways, we gotta thank you for the opportunity. I'm grateful.
Honorable Minister responsible for local government, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, may you live long for giving me the opportunity to break my parliamentary virginity for this meeting. Virginity for this meeting. Mr. Speaker, the gender minister was with me at Addis Ababa on similar issues like this. And when my respected colleagues mentioned about her, I believe I needed to bring it to her attention. She would have been here, Honorable Agnes Namumu. We were in Addis Ababa on issues of persons with disability and poverty. But Mr. Speaker, may I commend the maker of the statement, Honorable Dr. Clement Apak. This is not the very first time she is doing this. He always been playing the advocacy for the persons with disability very effectively. But Mr. Speaker, one distinguishing feature about the NDC stands clear. In 2006, when the Persons with Disability Act was passed by the then former President J.A. Kufuor, it was not until in 2009 that when His Excellency, the late President John Evans Atta Mills, assumed the high office, that the active implementation began. And that is where 1% of the persons with disability, DACF, was earmarked for persons with disability. It started in 2009 by the late Professor Atta Mills. Mr. Speaker, the one interesting thing is that this very year, the NDC has come back again and we are increasing the 1%, which was increased to 3%, to 5%. So the year 2025, the DACF money allocated for persons with disability was 263 million, and that was 3% of the 7.5 billion. Mr. Speaker, in 2026, an amount of 438 million has been earmarked for persons with disability, and that amount to 438 million Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, beyond this, in the GET Fund formula, an amount of 100 million Ghana cedis was also earmarked for persons with disability. Beyond that, Mr. Speaker, there's free tertiary fee and accommodation, everything being given to persons with disability. But Mr. Speaker, what persons with disability want from Parliament is that even though Parliament thought of them, His Excellency the President thought of them, and money was earmarked for them, the disbursement of the money that had been approved by formula, the formula that had been approved by Parliament, for monies to be disbursed to persons with disability, the Speaker, when you go to these MMDAs, it is not being done religiously. And that's why, Mr. Speaker, for this meeting, you have not been seeing me. And that's why when I was starting, I said, this is the very first time that my virginity is being broken for this meeting. It is not unique of me. I used always to be sitting here. But for this particular time, you need to put fire on the person's social welfare officers. Mr. Speaker, some metropolitan and district finance officers are not religiously doing full disclosure to the social welfare officers to know how much money that Parliament has approved and how much money that the President is giving to be given to persons with disability. On this note, Mr. Speaker, I want to entreat every member of Parliament in your district to take special interest in that. And I will call the administrator for District Assembly Common Fund. When the money is sent to the district, give an advice to the MP representing them so that the MP will be aware of how much money has been allocated to persons with disability in his district. Mr. Speaker, you go, some social welfare officers go and buy some quantity of television sets, refrigerators, that I'm coming to do distribution. Mr. Speaker, that is not it. You go and you ask them, where is the album? How many persons with disability do you have here? As a committee for local government, Mr. Speaker, you remember in the 8th Parliament, we visited about 154 districts, and we wanted to see with Honorable Patricia Apiaje, in fact, she was our chairman when we embarked upon that exercise. But Mr. Speaker, you could see that that money is not religiously being disbursed. So if members of Parliament do not take special interest to go to your district and ask how much money was given to the persons with disability in Man district and how much has been disbursed to them. Mr. Speaker, on a good day like this, International Day of Persons with Disability, this day would have been an opportune time that every person with disability, no matter ethnic, no matter the religion, the ethnic, the party, the everything, today, this is the day that the nation Ghana should have been putting a smile on everybody's face. So, Mr. Speaker, with that,
yes, you have 1 minute to conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, concerning the review of the Persons with Disability Act, Mr. Speaker, yes, it is true. Mr. Speaker, you remember that this is the very time that government is preparing a government white paper on the Constitutional Review Committee report. So cabinet is inundated with a lot of acts and a lot of legislative activities to be done. Even this weekend, Mr. Speaker, all of us, all cabinet members, we were all in the Eastern region going through all those documents. So, Mr. Speaker, I just want to assure the respected minority chief whip that yes, the law is being worked upon. Cabinet is considering it, and in due course, that act will be presented to this house for consideration. I want to thank every member in this house for increasing the amount for persons with disability from 263 million to 438 million, which is 5% of the 2026 DACF Act. Therefore, these are many more. The persons with disability, Mr. Speaker, you see them.
Yes, Honorable Patricia Apiaje, Deputy Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to contribute towards a statement ably made by our Honorable Chairman of the Disability Caucus, Honorable Apak. It is an important statement, and I'm happy that members have shown a lot of interest, and I'm sure that given the time, if we had adequate time, we would have contributed a lot to what has to be done. Because today is not just to commemorate the day, it's a day of action. And if it's a day of action, then there are a number of things that we seek to address. I'm happy the Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Chieftaincy, and Religious Affairs has mentioned the fact that the government is doing something about ensuring that on a day like this, we are giving certain kind of largesse. So what do you get? Giving a lot to members with disability. But in all that you said, I appreciate it. But I feel that there's something we haven't done. In 2017, when President Akufo-Addo came to power, we undertook the exercise of registering every disabled or has physically challenged in the community. And I think that is the way forward. If we want to do what you are suggesting, then it's important that we have data of all such people to ensure that whatever program or policy we churn out there, that policy will ensure that everybody is included in it. So it is important, and I want to draw your attention as the Minister of Local Government, Chieftaincy, and religious activity, that please undertake the exercise of updating. Yes, you are asking members of parliament to ensure that their members are well treated, but make sure that we update the records. When we have an update of the records, we can always relate it to the amount of money that has been given out there for members to enjoy themselves. I think what they are asking of us is not charity. What they are asking of us is to ensure that they are included in everything that is being given out there or as a nation. I'm happy that today we have to witness an exhibition mounted by people with disability. And that I'm dwelling on that particular initiative for us to look at the possibility that whatever funds are assigned to the disabled people, we know exactly what we are going to allocate for whichever activity. It is important. Now we have entrepreneurs, and we have to assist them. I'm happy my brother Arno over here mentioned about tax exemptions. If it is not a tax exemption, it could be something to encourage them in whatever they are doing. We can also allocate specific amount of money to boost up their businesses for which they have just started. It is important to look at it from that perspective and ensure that we will encourage them on a timely basis to ensure that whichever activity they try to pursue in life, we are not going to give them pennies, but they will be able to create the funding that is required for them to live as ordinary person in Ghana. And I believe that in doing so, we as policymakers over here, we have a responsibility to make them smile. So let us put our...
You can have 1 more minute.
We have to put our minds to developing the right policies to ensure that our brothers and sisters and our children who are disabled are given special skills training, they are trained, given the right technologies, they have the right markets and businesses opportunity for entrepreneurs with disability, especially when the emphasis is on that in this particular commemoration. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Honorable Deputy Minority Leader. Yes, Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think this Parliament has demonstrated today our very special affection and consideration for our colleague citizens who we describe as disabled. Mr. Speaker, it is important for us to know that disability is not inability. In many spaces, our colleagues who are disabled are indeed more able than those of us who are actually able. There are certain functionalities that they can perform better than those of us who are even not categorized as disabled. And therefore, as a country, we must put in place both the legal and infrastructure frameworks that will enable our disabled colleagues to be fully integrated into our national system. I think a few things are outstanding. One is we need to upgrade the legal framework. We passed the legislation to confer rights and impose obligations on the state in relation to disabled persons, but time is changing and we need to upgrade the legal framework, and that is something that we in Parliament should be particularly concerned about. And I also know there are some international commitments relating to the disabled that we need to ratify in this House, like the African Protocol on Disability. Those need to be ratified by this House. So we in this House must be seen, living up to our obligations in the area that is within our mandate to do, which is to upgrade the legal infrastructure and ensure that all international protocols are signed onto. Secondly, physically, we must integrate them. And so the infrastructure of this country must continuously upgrade to account for the special needs of physically disabled persons. And I know that our committees, both in the social sectors and infrastructure sectors, must continue to push for government infrastructure, government contracts, schools, hospitals, clinics, whatever infrastructure, public offices, that the commitment to make sure that they are accessible to disabled persons are complied with by all the agencies. That is a duty that we in this House have as a Parliament. And also, lastly, economic empowerment, that we must integrate them into the economy. It shouldn't be the case that the place for the disabled people are our traffic lights and places where they gather and beg. That shouldn't be the place of disabled persons. We as a country must consider it as a major national embarrassment when our colleagues have to earn their living at traffic lights begging. And so, as a Parliament, we must enact legislation which will compel a quota in every factory, in every organization, in every institution. Same way that we're enacting quotas for gender, we must also enact quotas for disabled persons. So that every institution must show that a certain number of its workers are disabled persons, because invariably there's no way that you won't find a disabled person who is qualified on his own to be employee of a certain factory, company, or organization. And so we must make it a quota for every agency, institution to ensure that they have a certain number of disabled persons engaged by them. And I believe that political parties as well must make an effort to fill a number of disabled persons so that they will come to Parliament, be in Parliament, and they can voice the concerns of their colleagues. We can say all the things that we want to say about them, but they are better advocates of their situation than we can ever be in this chamber. I recall that in the past, when the First Republic, our Constitution allowed the presidents to appoint, and such arrangements enable presidents to appoint people who could also represent certain special groups in Parliament. I know we are having some discussions about constitutional amendment. I don't know how it will conclude. For ensuring...
1 more minute. 1 more minute.
Yes, I was just taking that 1 minute, you know. Yeah, so we must also find a way of making sure that our Constitution has a framework that enables us in government to account for the interests, the concerns, and representation of disabled persons in our governance system. Mr. Speaker, on this very auspicious day, let me commend highly the leadership of the Disabled Persons Association, the persons with disability. They came to the Parliament fully prepared. They have set up an exhibition center. They have their own factories. They have their own industries, and they manufacture certain things. And so they have come and they have mounted an exhibition here so that members of Parliament, please make time. If we can procure them from the association, it will go a long way to help finance their activities and ameliorate the conditions and plight of some of them. Mr. Speaker, indeed, I am told that some of our colleagues have already even purchased some of the products, and so I want to use this opportunity to personally market. Mr. Speaker, just 1 more minute. So, we have never marketed any company's product in this chamber. But today, for the first time, we are marketing and promoting the products that our persons with disability have been producing and urging all Ghanaians to patronize these products so that we can uplift the circumstances and conditions of our brothers and sisters who have disabilities. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, what the Majority Leader forgot to add is that NBSSI, National Board for Small-Scale Industries, which through this House, this announcement in the 8th Parliament, it became Ghana Enterprise Agency. Mr. Speaker, some of these products that is exhibiting today, under Nana Akufo-Addo's government, a lot of them received funding. Mr. Speaker, I am aware that a lot of them receive funding. What I want to urge those who are involved in such manufacturing is that when the state finances them, they should try and pay back. I am aware that a lot was given out some 5-6 years ago, and a lot more will need funding so that they can do more and not beg. So, Mr. Speaker, that fact was lost on the Majority Leader. I needed to put it across so that we give credit where credit is due. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the treasure space.
Honourable members. Yes. Second Deputy Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, let me thank you for the opportunity. I believe so much has been said about the issue, about the statement made by Dr. Clement Apak. I'm not going to add anything except to commend Dr. Clement Apak for personally making issues relating to people with disability as a project. He has made it a project, and for the past couple of years, actually championing this particular project. And I want to commend him highly. I think we can all lend our support for this, our unfortunate disabled people. It's very important. It's our core, and we have to support them. So, Dr. Clement Park, I want to use this platform to commend you. Keep it up. Mr. Speaker, thank you so much.
Honourable members, thank you so much for this insightful statement and comment on the statement. The maker of the statement is the chairperson for the Disability Caucus in Parliament, of which I am a member. Honourable members, they are not physically challenged. They are not disabled. They don't have physical disability. They are persons with disability. That is the terminology. Persons with disability. They are here, particularly their leadership, and may I have your indulgence to announce their presence. We have Mr. Richard Ofe, Ghana Dreams Disability Development Foundation. He is the president. Then we have Mr. Bismarck Ano, Ghana Federation of Disability Organization. He's executive director. We have Mr. Emmanuel Laye, Ghana Society of the Physically Disabled, executive director. We have Mr. Alex Tete, Center for Employment of Persons with Disability, executive director. We have Mr. Michael Owusu Asari, No Limit Foundation, executive director. We have Rose Atitepe, Ghana Dreams Disability, member. It's Ghana Dreams Disability Development Foundation. We have Mrs. Salome Koko Labi, Ghana Dreams Disability Development Foundation, member. Honourable members, they have mounted exhibition at the foyer. I urge all of you that after adjournment, we all go to the foyer to see their products. It's very important. It's an indication of the fact that disability is not inability. So, honourable members, on your behalf, I welcome them to Parliament of the Republic of Ghana and urge them to have a fruitful visit and exhibition. We have students from Dendo Da Basic School, led by Sunu Michael, head teacher. They are from South Tong, they numbered 65. We have Mrs. Edusan, New Nation School, led by Esther Gagnon, NCC officer. They are from Ayawaso East, they numbered 61. We have Pong Tamale Senior High School student, led by Al-Hassan Humeru, Senior House Master and Patron of Student Parliament. They are from Savalugu. They numbered 36. We have Tender Sprouts Community School, led by Gabriel Donne Blay, founder. They are from Shao Sudoku. They numbered 39. Then we have Ghana National Amputee Football Team, led by Stephen Richard Obey, head coach. They are from Sechere East. They numbered 20. Honourable members, on your behalf, I welcome them to Parliament of Ghana and urge them to have a fruitful visit. The honourable members, I announce to you visit by members of the National Assembly Service Commission of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to Parliament of Ghana from Monday 22nd to Friday 27th June 2026. Honourable members, I have the pleasure to introduce to you our revered visitors from Nigeria. Our visitors are Mr. Patrick Ahokai Jiwa, Commissioner, Leader of Delegation. We have Honorable Engineer Sani Bala, Chairman, House Committee on Public Service. We have Mr. Afiz Ipsa Balongun, Commissioner, is a commissioner. We have Mr. Festus Ifenachi Odi, he's also a commissioner. We have Mr. Sunday Okeho, Director, Planning, Research, and Library. We have Mr. Samson Anyefiok, Director, Promotions and Discipline. We have Mr. Bashir O. Lawal, Director, ICT. We have Mr. Babanjide Ademiluyi, Director, Zonal Offices. We have Mr. Jiwasin Jacob Simon, Deputy Director, Audit. We have Mr. Mohammed Labaran, Director, Budget. We have Mr. Mactams Anthony Agai, Chief Planning Officer. Then we have Miss Angela Akpulu, Assistant Chief Protocol Officer. Honourable members, on your behalf and on behalf of the House, I welcome the delegation to Parliament and I wish them fruitful deliberation and stay in Accra, Ghana. Thank you for coming.
Yes. Speaker, if you may indulge me, following the wonderful views expressed from both sides of the House relative to the statement presented by our colleague, and the three matters outstanding, LI, the absence of penal enforcement, and the quota measures, as was also corroborated by the majority leader. Speaker, I want to employ you, if you may, Speaker, for us to sustain these actions refer this committee, this statement to the Standing Committee on Gender so that they can apprise us on the airline and the other considerations that were mentioned. So I so submit. Leader.
Very well. I will first of all direct that the statement be transmitted to the minister responsible for gender, as well as the Committee on Gender and Social Protection. Yes. Yes, Majority Leader. We have a statement in the name of Honorable Comfort Doyo Kujo, Member of Parliament for Ada. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, first of all, last Sunday was Father's Day, so I would like to take the opportunity to wish all fathers happy belated Father's Day. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to make a statement in commemoration of International Widows' Day, observed annually on 23rd June, to draw attention to the numerous challenges faced by widows in Ghana and to advocate stronger protection for their rights and dignity. International Widows' Day serves as a reminder of our struggles endured by millions of women who, upon the death of their spouses, are confronted with economic hardship, discrimination, social exclusion, and harmful traditional practices. It is also an opportunity for us as a nation to recommit ourselves to safeguard the welfare of widows and ensuring that they are treated with dignity and respect. Mr. Speaker, despite the progress Ghana has made in promoting human rights and gender equality, many widows continue to suffer from abusive widowhood rights that violate their fundamental rights and human dignity. In some communities, widows are subjected to degrading rituals, confinement, forced mourning period, accusation of cursing their confinement, forced mourning period, accusation of causing their husband's death, and other inhuman practices that have no place in a husband's death, and other inhuman practices that have no place in a modern democratic society governed by the rule of law. Mr. Speaker, another major challenge confronting widows is the deprived of their inheritance rights. Many widows are unlawfully denied access to their late husband's properties by family members who exploit their ignorance of the law. In numerous instances, widows and their children are evicted from their matrimonial homes and deprived of properties that they jointly acquire with their deceased spouses. This unfortunate situation persists despite the existence of laws such as the Interstate Succession Act 1985, PNDC Law 111, and other legal protections intended to secure the rights of surviving spouses and children. The problem is often compounded by inadequate public awareness and the reluctance of some commitments to abandon customs that are inconsistent with the laws of Ghana and the provision of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, it is imperative that we intensify public education on property rights, inheritance laws, and legal laws available for widows. Knowledge of law remains one of the most effective tools for preventing exploitation and abuse. I therefore call upon the National Commission for Civil Education, the Information Service Department, the media, the traditional authority, religious leaders, civil society organizations, and all stakeholders to embark on sustained public education campaign aimed at eliminating harmful widowhood practices and promoting respect for the rights of widows. Mr. Speaker, I further urge the relevant ministries, departments, and agencies to strengthen support system for widows through legal aid service, economic empowerment programs, social protection interventions, and access to education and health care for widows and their children. As a nation, we must ensure that the death of a husband does not become the beginning of suffering, humiliation, and poverty for a widow. Let us work collectively to build a Ghana where widows are protected by law, respected by society, and empowered to live lives of dignity and fulfillment. In commemoration International Widows Day, let us reaffirm our commitment to justice, equality, and protection of the vulnerable among us. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity.
Yes. Honourable members, how many comments? One. Plus leadership?
Yes.
Very well. Honourable members, before taking the comment, may I announce that Ghana Dream Disability Development Foundation, the group members were here, as well as Ghana Federation of Disability Organization. Members of this group were also here. Yes, Honorable Richard Achampong.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity to comment on the statement by Honorable Duyu. Mr. Speaker, it is good that she brought this matter up so that we can also have a second look at how widows are treated when their spouses pass on. But I see the statement to be like she's only talking about women, but men also suffer when there are issues. These days, women abuse men, and when they get to the point that their properties, they themselves file for divorce and go for half of their properties. And there are women who are complaining their husbands are not treating them fairly. Mr. Speaker, the women should pray for their husband to live longer. They should make them happy so that the two of them can enjoy life. They complain that the men are not treating them fairly. But when they pass on and they are complaining, we are widows. There are discrimination. Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Richard Achampong, you have the floor. You are speaking for 5 minutes.
So, Mr. Speaker, it's about time the women will also support their husband, pray for them, help them to survive, live longer, so the two of them can enjoy life. So they shouldn't put themselves as if they are so vulnerable to the extent that they can't also do things for themselves. Mr. Speaker, I don't know why the minority leader is trying to set me up. So, Mr. Speaker, the statement is up. We need to support the vulnerable in society. When the man passes on, at least what is due, the widow must be given, especially with the children, so that they can also have a meaningful life. But the women should not position themselves that they are so vulnerable that they can't do anything. So, Mr. Speaker, the succession tested law is something the House must work on. Pass that law and make sure that what is due everyone is given, so that the woman will support the man will succeed, but when the man passes on, nothing is given to the woman or the children. So, because this is a man's word, why are you listening to him? And that, Mr. Speaker, we passed the Affirmative Action Act. So, this is something we have to give fresh to the law that we passed. So, Mr. Speaker, I have the floor. I don't know why minority leader will not allow me to make my point. So, this is not discrimination. So, Mr. Speaker, we should give fresh to the Affirmative Action Act that we passed, so that by the end of the day, the women will benefit from whatever is due them. Mr. Speaker, I thank you very much for the opportunity.
Yes, you have the floor.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Oh, I'll come to you. Let me take Honorable Abna Oseasari.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, really it isn't easy for widows in this country. So as we have set a day aside to talk about them, I think we have to put our heads together to find ways of how we can unease the burden that they go through when they lose their husbands. So for someone, not just anybody, but someone in leadership, to say that it's a man's world, so whatever happens, happens. Mr. Speaker, respectfully, I don't think it is right. Even coming from a leader, from the front bench, Mr. Speaker, I think he has to withdraw this. A lot is going on. Widows are suffering. And Mr. Speaker, as makers of the law, we will have to come together and put strategies and suggestions in place to help ease the burden of these widows. But to hear ourselves, or one from leadership, say that it is a man's world, so then it is okay. Mr. Speaker, respectfully, that is not the case.
He has to withdraw.
Mr. Speaker, respectfully, I would like for you to ask him to step down what he said.
Yes, and withdraw. And apologize. And apologize. And apologize to the ladies.
Yes. Would leadership be commenting or after 1-1?
Oh, Mr. Speaker, I thought you were going, that's why I stopped. I thought you wanted to say something. That's why I stopped for you to.
No.
But I haven't finished with the statement there.
Then continue.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we all know what women go through. And I will plead with us that these things are sensitive. So whatever we put out there, This is a house of records. Whatever we put out there should be something that will help bring us together to fight this situation, and not something that people will hear and ask themselves whether this really came from us or came from somewhere else. But Mr. Speaker, I'd like to associate myself with the maker of the statement and say that as a house, let us help them, let us help women, let us put in measures and laws, if possible, to help ease the burden of widows. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. But I await your call for you to please tell our leader, one of our leaders, to Honorable Echampong, to withdraw what he said against that statement that he made. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Leadership, yes, you have the floor.
Speaker, today, Honorable Kojo Comfort Doyo has brought to light the suffering of our mothers. The Speaker, in Winneba, we have an association of widows. And they say in Fanti, Ekunaye enye duabo. In other words, being a widow is not a curse. Mr. Speaker, our mothers go through a lot. The worst part of it is when their husbands leave them and they become widowed. They suffer a lot. So, for Honorable Doyo to bring this to our attention and to share with us some of the challenges our mothers go through. Speaker, I hold a view that it's a commendable move by her. Speaker, especially the young widows, somebody who is just in her 30s or early 40s and going through that situation. Sometimes opportunity to remarry is not there. And you live your whole life with kids. And you have to find a way of making them survive. It doesn't come easy. Speaker, I will support a call by this House to put in place, to recommend a social intervention program to be introduced and implemented by government to support widows in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, when we talk about widows, we are talking about those in remote areas, villages in Ghana who have no helper at all, who have nobody to support them. Speaker, I have about 3 associations in Winneba, and I know what these old ladies go through. They go through a lot. So, Mr. Speaker, I think that for Honorable Achampo to make certain suggestions, Speaker, I don't want to repeat them, but maybe he has not really paid attention to what he himself said. I will plead with him to pick the video, watch again, and come back and perhaps retreat, because the path he chose was quite a dangerous one. I don't want to repeat them. You are a colleague leader. I would only suggest that we should look at what you said. Perhaps it was unintended, but what you put out, look at it again. Speaker, we need a strong public advocacy. A strong public advocacy to get people to appreciate the rights these widows have, even in the extended families of their husbands. Because, Mr. Speaker, most of them do not even know their rights under our custom. So sometimes people bully them and they only submit. It's painful. They go through a lot of emotional torture. They go through a lot of psychological torture. It is therefore important that, Mr. Speaker, we don't just make this statement and leave it there. Widows go through this trauma because after losing their husbands, they have children to take care of. Even property sharing sometimes is a problem. Mr. Speaker, if we open the floodgates, or if we want people to speak freely, the kind of things we hear, somebody may be suffering with a husband, some family members may not be in the scene as
1 more minute.
Very well. Speaker, let me rest my case. Let me rest my case. Okay.
Majority Leader.
Thank you very much. Is it working? Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I believe that the mere fact that today in this chamber we have made a statement on International Widows Day and we are commenting on it is an indication that we have come far, that we are beginning to recognize the plight of widows as a major concern that we as a parliament must take on board. I believe that my deputy whip made a point very strongly that we have been living in a men's world and we have been trying very hard to put in place infrastructure that will equalize the status of men and women. And we have passed the Affirmative Action Bill. The Affirmative Action Bill clearly requires that in sharing national opportunities, we give women their fair share. If we religiously comply with these legislations, in the end, we will not have a disproportionate number of men who will be better positioned than women, and ultimately, when either gender passes away, the other gender tends to suffer more because disproportionately, even in life, women don't get as much. But if we implemented the Affirmative Action Bill and the law that we have passed, women will have so much that perhaps many years to come, there will be a fair balance. Whether it's a woman who has passed or a man who has passed, the remaining partner will be equally positioned to take care of themselves. I think this is the context in which my colleague, Honorable Achampong, was making his comment. Mr. Speaker, I also believe that this House has before it the Interstate Succession Bill. We have an Interstate Succession Bill currently before us in this House. To show our commitment to widows, let us work expeditiously to pass this bill so that we can capture in it all the protection and benefits that we as a House want to inure to the benefit of widows. So, Mr. Speaker, let us fast-track the passage of the Interstate Succession Bill. I believe that it is to follow up on work that was done many years ago when the PNDC passed the Interstate Succession Law, PNDC Law 111. So the journey to take care of widows started many years ago, and let me commend the former President Jerry John Rawlings and the PNDC, and in particular, let me commend all those NGOs and CSOs who have been advocating for us to expedite the passage of the Interstate Succession Bill. Many of us in this chamber are the handiwork of widows. Many of us lost our fathers when we were very young, and it is our mothers who have made us what we are today. And they made us what we are today at a time when they were widows. So we understand exactly what the situation is. I lost my father when I was in secondary school. And so I know what my mother has been to me in terms of making me what I am today. And I'm sure the same applies to many of you who are in this chamber. So we thank our mothers who have stood up in spite of the deprivation to make sure that we become what we are. And so I urge you, honorable colleagues, that we should expedite action and pass the Interstate Succession Bill. I can understand the sentiments being expressed as a result of the misunderstanding of what my colleague was saying. But I believe that having put it in proper context, my colleague will not be misrepresented in terms of what he intended to convey to Ghanaians. Mr. Speaker, on that note, let me commend my colleague on this side of the House for remembering that this is International Widows' Day. And I'm bringing a statement to be made that we on this side of the House are concerned about widows. And we have brought their matter up in this chamber. And we are committed to their cause. And we will promote their cause. And we will have the bill passed. And I urge people not to introduce too many amendments.
Honourable Minority Leader, you had your turn. Yes.
Speaker.
Yes.
Speaker. The majority leader was on a rescue mission, but he landed on a very bad note. Mr. Speaker, we all know the practice in this House that when a member says something which is ordinarily not parliamentary, an opportunity is given to the member to withdraw, or sometimes the records are expunged. Mr. Speaker, I disagree with the majority leader in his suggestion that what the Honorable Acheampong said was misconstrued. There is a world of difference between what you said and what he said. Mr. Speaker, we wanted to handle it mildly.
Honorable Minority
to do
Leader,
politics with it won't
when
allow.
it comes to statement, we don't debate it.
Mr. Speaker, I agree with you.
Yes,
Mr. Speaker,
this is a statement,
Mr. Speaker,
and we are commenting
Mr. Speaker,
on the statement.
Mr. Speaker, the man will not even keep. Mr. Speaker, the man will not even keep quiet for us to rescue him. But Mr. Speaker, you know I've made a promise to you. It's okay.
Very well.
I've made a promise to you.
Very well.
So it's fine.
Very well.
You've attacked women. You will see.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, I will crave your indulgence for us to vary the order of business and lay some paper, which is the Parliamentary Service Staff Regulations. No, we can't. Parliamentary Service Regulations of 2026. Mr. Speaker, I crave your indulgence for us to vary the order of business and lay that so that we can have that become law by the time that this House will go on recess.
Yes, Majority Leader, I'm reliably informed that the pre-laying consideration has not taken place.
Okay. Well, you saw the clerk walk up to me. He is the one who insisted that we should have it late.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, let me crave the indulgence of my colleagues on the other side. I expected that you were consulted, but this side of the house, we have a meeting. Yes, we have a meeting and we're running late. So I plead with you, if we can take an early adjournment so that we can be on time for that meeting. This is a plea to my colleagues on the other side.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, the Majority Leader landed on a very humble tone, a plea. Yes, we are aware that you are going to the presidency. Very discriminatory call. We have a 276-member chamber. The president, who is supposed to be a father for all, decided to only invite his side. We know the welfare issues that are going to be discussed. Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether you've been invited, but Mr. Speaker, it is only the 180-something that have been invited by the president. When we have a 276-member house, and you say you're going for a meeting, which meeting? This side of the house is part of the country, and the president is only inviting your side to take care of you. Mr. Speaker, we have been told, Mr. Speaker, we have been told why they are being invited. Certain welfare issues are going to be discussed for only your side. Is that how we run a country? A president who is discriminatory? Mr. Speaker, we protest this matter. We protest this. The Majority Leader has failed Parliament. The Majority Leader has failed Parliament. How can you carry your side to the presidency? We will not agree. If the president is inviting Parliament, all parliamentarians must be invited. And we will be there. We will be there. Mr. Speaker, why? Mr. Speaker, we know the content of the visit. We know. We've been briefed. The things that are going to be discussed. How can you be discriminatory? Are we not also Ghanaians? Mr. Speaker, we don't need to be NDC. Mr. Speaker, we don't need to be NDC. We are Ghanaians, we are parliamentarians. You care only about your welfare. You Chief Whip, Majority Chief Whip, you know this is a 276 chamber. You are going alone. Go.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I've heard the Minority Leader loud and clear. He's requesting to also have an opportunity to meet with the leader of the NDC. He wants to abandon Baumia. He wants to meet the leader of the NDC. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that he so early wants to abandon Baumia and go and meet John Mahama, who is the leader of the NDC. But John Mahama is a very welcoming person. So if you want to bring your entire caucus to him, he is happy to receive you. He doesn't have a problem. So prepare your caucus and then we can go and hand them over to John Mahama. Because John Mahama is the leader of the NDC as a party. And the MPs are members of his caucus. It is important for them. As president, he comes here and meets the entire house. As president, he comes here and meets the entire house and reports before the cameras to the entire house. But as leader of his party, he is entitled to meet with his party members to discuss party matters. But Mr. Speaker, there's nothing wrong with discussing the welfare of NDC as a political party. I'm saying that there's nothing wrong with discussing the welfare of NDC as a political party. So, Mr. Speaker, I crave your indulgence. I know we haven't done 5 hours. We're in your hands. But if you can adjourn so that we can be on time for our meeting. I plead with you, we can't take the statement. Let's take it tomorrow.
We have actually not done 5 hours. We have not. So there must be a motion for adjournment.
Yeah, so Mr. Speaker, please, tomorrow, yes. We'll do it first thing tomorrow. First thing tomorrow. No, what are you going to respond to? You are pleading that I should take you to John Mahama. I'm saying I'll do that. What is your problem? What is your problem? I will take you to John Mahama. I will take you there. In fact, your entire caucus. We have heard your plea. We have heard your plea and your appeal. There's enough space. He will receive you. He will receive you. He will discuss with you the welfare of MPP as a party. Because he's father for all. He's father for NDC, he's father for MPP.
Speaker, with respect, I was a majority leader in this house. Mr. Speaker, I know that any time President Akufo-Addo was dealing with welfare issues, he dealt with the entire house. Yes. Mr. Speaker, yes. Majority leader was not in leadership. So he can't respond to this. Mr. Speaker, Akufo-Addo took care of the entire house. It cannot happen that all of you, the majority, you are going and you want to force an adjournment so that you go to Jubilee. So you are abandoning Parliament. We have been told of the fat envelopes. We've been told. We know. We heard it. Mr. Speaker, we won't accept this. We won't accept it. The president is being discriminatory. We have a 276-member chamber. Mr. Speaker, I don't know whether you've been invited as a deputy speaker. I don't know. But your second deputy, your colleague, has not been invited. It's not fair. The president must demonstrate inclusiveness, that all of us are part of the governance ecosystem. You only invite your NDC party members. Mr. Speaker, they can
Honorable
go.
Minority Leader.
But God willing, we'll
Honorable
survive.
Minority Leader, you are very much aware. Honorable members, let's place on record that we are legislative arm of government. We take care of ourselves. The president is not the one that takes care of us as a legislative arm of government.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, for the records, I have been in this house throughout the period that Akufo-Addo was president. There was no one single occasion when I or any of my colleagues were invited to go and meet with Akufo-Addo to discuss welfare matters. Mr. Speaker, presidents, yeah, he said it. He said it. Mr. Speaker, President Akufo-Addo never invited us on this side, at that time on that side, to go to the Flagstaff House to discuss any welfare issues. Our conditions of service are determined by a committee set up by the president. And that is the basis of the welfare of members of parliament. Mr. Speaker, however, presidents make time to meet the leadership of both sides. And those meetings between the leadership of this side and this side at that time were held at the Flagstaff House under President Akufo-Addo.
Yesterday was JJ.
And Mr. Speaker, I will say it, that President John Dramani Mahama has met leadership of this side and this side in my presence. And on that day, the interesting thing was that they were even more than my side. They were more than my side. And I recall him telling the president that on that occasion, they were the majority and I was the minority. Yes, you want to say, we will say it. John Mahama has met the leadership of both sides. It's an annual event. Every year, we meet him once. I mean, and to tell you, it is not a meeting. It's not a meeting to compromise anybody. Because I remember that day when we met, he had a whole tall list of issues and proposals for government to consider. It was a very productive meeting because he had the opportunity to sit with the president and to raise a lot of issues for the president to take on board. So I am saying that the president is an inclusive president. He invites you, he invites me, we sit together, we discuss the issues. Don't pretend that he has never afforded an opportunity for your side to engage him. You have not requested that you want to take your entire caucus to him. He will be so happy to receive your entire caucus. He will be so happy. So the request that you are making today, I can assure you, I will schedule a meeting to take your entire caucus to meet the president. Mr. Speaker, I move that we adjourn till tomorrow at 12 o'clock in the noon so that we can go and have our party meeting.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, we want to go. Mr. Speaker. Stop there.
Yes, Minority Leader. There's a motion for adjournment.
Mr. Speaker, ordinarily, I'm supposed to second this motion. But Mr. Speaker, my backbench had discussions on the corridors of what is happening at Jubilee. The happy welfare issues. They were telling us, Mr. Speaker, and we find it discriminatory. But it's okay. It is your government. If, Mr. Speaker, they have decided to go and go alone, they should go. But, Mr. Speaker, we expect that you, as the presiding officer, will draw the majority leader's attention to the fact that on a rainy day like this, if they are going, Mr. Speaker, I know you've been invited. If they are going and they decide that they are going alone, Mr. Speaker, they should go alone. They should go alone. I will not second this motion. They should go alone.
Motion
Mr.
for
Speaker, I rise
adjournment.
to second the motion.
Motion for adjournment. Any seconder?
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion.
Motion moved and seconded. It is for the consideration of the House. Honourable members, the question is, as many as are in favor say aye. Those against say no. Honourable members, the ayes have it. The House is accordingly adjourned till Wednesday, 24th June 2026 at 12 noon.